is 24/7 Lou with
Ricard, that's right.
So welcome. You're listening to the Few Show podcast SmackDown review.
I don't know. That's a pretty long name, Lou. You think we could shorten that up? Shorty G it up?
Shorty G it up. Oh, man. All right. Okay, here we go then. TFS Pod SmackDown review. Too long, right?
A little bit, yeah. Kind of roughly the same amount of characters there.
I'm eventually going to read the alphabet. You know that, right? At some point. But enough of the title of this podcast that you're listening to on the Few Shows YouTube channel, and you'll probably see it on the Few Shows page on Facebook, which will have links to it also too at the bottom of your screen, not us. But anyway, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to talk about the SmackDown that aired on Fox.
But man, what a show! Let me tell you this right now. Not feeling it with SmackDown. Definitely not the A show, Michael Cole.
What? It is the A show.
No, it's not. Especially if you need Michael Cole to say it on television. It's definitely not the A show. Though they started off with a good tease. Roman Reigns versus Nakamura for the Intercontinental title. Gotta say, that was a good tease, and then it just ended with a DQ. Non-finish. Reigns won, of course.
Now, what would you give that? Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
So it's good because, let's face it, Nakamura would do a lot more with the title than Reigns. But Roman Reigns is he's got more star power.
True.
But
True.
He's got better things to do right now. I mean, he's captaining Team Hogan. Spoilers.
Whoa! We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a minute. There, we are gonna get to that. Where we did hear about later on in the show where Rollins is out because he's gonna be facing the Fiend at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. So where they needed a new captain for Team Hogan, which cat's already out of the bag. It is Roman Reigns. So yeah. Okay. So then, what was the next match that we had on there?
Next match, you had Chad Gable. I refuse to call him by any of his nicknames.
Shorty.
Going up against member of the B team, Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
And it was essentially a squash match. I just want to point this out there. Could we please stop doing the quick tap outs?
Yeah. What was that about? That was
the most annoying thing in the world. It makes no sense. At least have the guy scream. Do these people not have acting classes for how to scream in anguish a little longer?
Yeah, and also, for me, I don't think that would have been my number 2 match of the night on SmackDown. That would have been my number 2 match, but all right, that's what we had, But yeah, and then ending it abruptly like that, where he did do the ankle lock. And Curtis Axel did tap.
No. You have no understanding of how I was feeling watching this match. Before I saw who his opponent was, Chad Gable's coming out. He points to the Titantron. I say, "Oh my God, no!" He's putting that as his name now. And I'm still thinking to myself, "It's all right. It's all right." They're building up the fact that he's been overlooked and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, man, this sounds like a real underdog story. And his performance of the King of the Ring. I'm thinking man, this guy could actually Chad could probably win the Royal Rumble next year, or that'd be a really good moment.
By the way,
and then
before we started all doing this podcast, we were having our own personal chats for all you listeners out there. We were having a conversation about who was going to win the King of the Ring, and I felt that Corbin was going to win.
Yeah, you called it Corbin from the early get-go. For
the only reason being that WWE hates us as fans. So
you didn't say WWE hate. You didn't see WWE. You said Vince hates us. Literally, you were like, "Yeah, it's Vince."
Yeah. He hates us, and he's going to give us the worst possible one to actually win it. And you
surprisingly,
were saying,
he's done really well with it so far, though.
Yeah,
I like what Baron Corbin's doing with the King of the Ring stuff. It's after he interfered in Roman Reigns' match, they had a backstage interview, and they're like, "Whoa, what do you have to say about your actions?" And he just put on the crown and he walked away. And I'm just like, yeah.
There you go. you were
guy doesn't care.
And you were calling it for Chad Gable to win it, and it would be a good boost for him. I mean,
it would have. I honestly think it would have. But if it didn't end with him winning it, I said at least the long-term story could have led to something. And I don't like where this is leading because they were like, oh, Chad Gable, despite all the nicknames people have been giving him, he's winning matches. He just wins matches. I'm just like, yeah, but he just beat Curtis Axel, who hasn't beaten anybody in ages.
Which takes us to what he said post-match, which was the worst thing ever, I think, also.
Yo, yeah.
He's like, hey, let's shorten that up. Shorty G. Get out of here with
Shorty
that stuff.
G. Oh, you're calling yourself Shorty Gable now. What's up with that? Oh, let's shorten that up. Shorty G. I'm like, no.
Get out of here with that stuff, man.
This is a bad idea. Chad Gable was great.
Yes.
They're just destroying his identity there.
Yeah, like when they started calling him Shorty Gable, okay, maybe Cole's just he's being told to say that. But then when you see for the draft and going to SmackDown, Shorty Gable.
And on his Titantron, and he looks up and he's like, what? He shrugs it off, and I'm like, no. Like, I was thinking when they kept calling him Shorty Gable, I'm like, this will lead to him getting a major win. And then they interview him and they call him Shorty Gable. He says, my name is Chad Gable. Like, that would have been a good moment.
Yes, of course it would have been.
But he's embracing it now. He's like, yeah, I'm Shorty Gable.
Shorty G.
Shorty Gable. I can't even say his name.
Yeah, because it's not right. It's all wrong. Yeah.
It's not right. It's Chad Gable. You know, I liked him. I liked his gimmick when he was in NXT. Ready, willing, and Gable. He doesn't even have that now.
That was pretty good. That was pretty
good. He was walking around with those damn towels.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to the next match.
Okay, all right. So here's my commentary on that backstage segment with Otis.
Yeah.
And the New Day. That was... I cannot imagine... Like, it was bad enough that they buried Kofi with that 9-second loss to Brock Lesnar, but he literally is like, oh, we got to lift up your spirits. I feel the power of positivity. I'm like, yeah. Way to completely get over the fact that your title reign's over.
Yeah, that was like, I was ready to scream at the TV, like, what? Your power of positivity? What? Yo, come on, man.
It's the equivalent of, like, I mean, it's not even a parody like when Bray Wyatt does the Firefly Funhouse, because he's, like, commenting about his cabin being burned, and he's like, that was okay. I'm like, no, he's being serious about that. He's like, I have the power of positivity, and I lost the WWE title. It's like, no. Be upset. Show some emotion.
Yeah,
don't be John Cena.
Mm-hmm. I'm not in the picture anymore for winning a title.
Yeah, somebody else who's never been in a WWE ring is now facing Brock Lesnar, and I'm just an afterthought.
Yep.
Thanks, Rey Mysterio.
And and another thing also too, before we started this podcast, we were having other conversations on this, and we were thinking that okay, maybe this will help him. Help his character. He'll come back stronger. That the whole Daniel Bryan kind of a story going on there. But
yeah, I mean when Daniel Bryan lost the his title in 18 seconds at WrestleMania back in 2012, he used that to really turn it around. And yeah, he did the goofy Team Hell No stuff afterwards, after being in the title picture for a couple months. But it was ultimately built back up to something. But early on, he wasn't just like, oh, well, I lost in 18 seconds. I guess I'll get over that. He was mad. He showed emotion about that. Yep. Proper reactions.
Yes.
Realistic responses to actions. Like even his teammates who made the biggest deal about him being champion were like, yeah, it's all good.
God, that was so
Instead,
wrong.
they're just making jokes about like, oh, man, we can't get salmonella before a match.
That was so wrong, that whole thing. That was so wrong to hear him say that.
But they got to win. That much is fine. Kofi wasn't even involved in the match. He's actually being kept apart from the New Day in terms of the tag team.
Oh yeah,
so they're keeping it Woods and Big E, which is a very interesting distinction there.
So that what we had next was that 8-man tag team, right?
Yeah, the 8-man tag match. It was Heavy Machinery and the New Day versus the Revival and Rudolph, as I call them.
Rudolph.
Rudolph, yeah.
Oh. Now I got it. I'm like, wait. Oh my God. Now I get it.
You're like, who's this new superstar?
Rudolph.
Rudolph.
So yeah.
So yeah, they got the win. It was pretty straightforward, shine for the good guys.
Yeah.
Which probably means they're not winning at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, and also too, we have the tag team champions involved in a match with with 3 other tag teams in there. I mean,
yeah, the Revival.
I don't know. I don't know. I would like to have seen the Revival shine a little more by themselves.
There was a point near the ending of the match where I'm just like, it was just Tucker and Otis taking on all 4 guys, and I'm just like, where the heck is the New Day? Near the end of that, like up until the point where Tucker has one of, who did he have up? I don't remember which opponent he had up. He had somebody in a suplex. He tags in Big E. Then Xavier Woods gets involved, and I'm just like, it was Otis who had him up. There we go. And I'm just like, my gosh, like they were out of the match for a whole good several minutes. And I'm just like, man, the New Day really didn't have much to do in this match.
Also, if you're just if somehow you landed on this, this is 24/7 Lou, and that's
Rick Hard,
and this is again we got to shorten this name up. The Few Show podcast SmackDown review for October 18th. So just to keep you guys updated on what's going on. So yeah, so we had that match of the tag teams. Then what we had after that one?
So after that, we actually had a segment of Miz TV with Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Yeah, I did like that.
The good old Mean Girls. You had the 2-man power trip in the early 2000s, and now you got Mean Girls, Sasha Banks and Bayley.
I did like that line with Miz, like, what are you now, the new Lesnar?
Yeah, what are you now, the new Lesnar? Is she Paul Heyman? That was really good. If I didn't know any better, because Miz hasn't done any matches. He's just been doing Miz TV segments as of late. Mm-hmm. Since his feud with Nakamura, and I'm just like, okay. If I didn't know any better, normally when Miz like pushes back on hosts or like guests, it's normally setting up for him to get beaten up by the guest. And I'm just like, if I didn't know any better, I think they're gonna beat up the Miz. And I'm just like, oh wait, no, we don't do that in WWE. Not on the main shows. So we save that for NXT.
So I did like that little back and forth there with the Miz and Sasha got involved there. I did like that, and she said she doesn't care about the fans anymore. Bayley, so when she was down, nobody was there to give her a hug, and what was the thing about her makeup?
And Bayley has apparently aged like 10 years with this new look. Me and you were commenting about that. I don't know what they were doing with makeup, but I think they need to tone it down. I like the look though; it fits with the heel turn. She couldn't keep coming out with inflatable arm waving guys, so it made sense.
And I also did like how it led into the 6 women?
The 6-pack challenge, yeah. Nikki Cross coming out, she did a good promo. Dana Brooke, who I think is underutilized. DM me, Dana, if you're listening. I think she's underutilized, but and I'm not just saying that because I think she's hot or anything, but that promo didn't land really well. Flex. I don't know.
Flex.
I get that she's into bodybuilding. She's into bodybuilding. I get it, but it was like it doesn't work as well.
You know what? You know what it is? She doesn't get enough time on the shows to us know what's all that about.
Yeah, I mean she's trying something. It's obvious. She wants to put in her best effort on it, and you could kind of tell based on what she did in the 6-pack challenge. But it's just pretty obvious that they're like, nah, we're not feeling it. And I get it too, because she had a pretty flat like one-on-one interview after WrestleMania earlier this year, and I was like, that was her chance, and she didn't land on that one.
Yeah. She
was like, I want to congratulate Becky, this and that, and then she just did a 180 on the interview, and I'm just like, but she was still being nice, and I'm like, what were we supposed to get from that? So it fell flat, and I think ever since then she's been trying to regain footing there.
And then we went to commercial break, and we come back, and next thing you know, Mandy Rose is in there.
Mandy Rose, yeah, also in the ring, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Carmella. Former 24/7 champion. That's no way to treat a former 24/7 champion.
Before we go to that, what was that remark about Grand Slam champion?
First Grand Slam champion. So if I'm by what I could tell, they mean she's first ever Raw Women's Champion, first ever Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, and NXT Women's Champion, along with Tag Team Champion, Women's Tag Champion.
All right, there was one championship missing, but it didn't exist back then. I mean,
the tag titles. The tag titles basically make it so that, because before that, the Grand Slam champion meant NXT, SmackDown, and Raw, which would have been Alexa Bliss. She was the first one to do that. Well, no. Was Charlotte. Would have been Charlotte for that one. Because Alexa Bliss was an NXT champion. Alexa Bliss was the first one to win both the SmackDown and Raw titles.
Yeah.
But then once they introduced the tag titles, you had Bayley do it with all four of them, not including the 24/7 title.
So we go back to that 6-pack match. It was okay. It was exciting. There were some spots in there.
There were some spots there. Like I said, Dana Brooke at one point got a close two count. She did a power bomb on Lacey Evans, which was impressive because Lacey Evans is tall and very well built. Former U.S. Marine there. And she took that power bomb. Dana Brooke got the close 2, and then the pin got broke up by Carmella and Mandy Rose. And I just thought it was funny when they started fighting afterwards, because Corey Graves, who, if I'm not mistaken, is currently in a relationship with Carmella, he's like, this is, and every time Mandy Rose comes out, he's like, God's gift, Mandy Rose. He's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen on commentary.
I can imagine I can imagine backstage when he's man, make him say it.
Make him say, yeah. He's like, say it.
Make him say it. Say it like
I don't think anybody backstage had to tell Corey Graves to say that. Corey Graves is pretty witty on commentary when he wants to be.
Yeah, but the thing is that when against Carmella, that's the thing. It's like yeah. Put him in that position where he has to say some weird stuff about his girlfriend.
Oh no, yeah, he's always which is what I always miss about Renee Young. When Renee Young was on commentary with Corey Graves, she'd be like, Corey, it's your favorite fanboy, like dream crush, Mandy Rose coming out. And he also had a thing for Bliss at some point, but then he was like, I'm over it.
Yeah, that's what's missing too from when Renee Young was there. Like when Corey Graves would go super heel, she would like bring him back down a bit. Yeah,
they had a good back and forth. I actually do miss that from the commentary team.
Yeah, because Cole doesn't get too much into that stuff.
Yeah, Cole's just the play-by-play. He's not really meant to like have any arguments with him. The only person Cole really argues with are any guest superstar commentators.
Yeah.
Like during the early match, Sami Zayn was like, how dare you question the resiliency of Shinsuke Nakamura and all this other stuff. And he was having a back and forth with Cole, and Cole's just doing the play-by-play.
And then the winner of that was Nikki Cross, who gets an opportunity.
So Nikki Cross won the 6-pack challenge. Pretty much, aside from Carmella, the only face in the match. And considering the promo that she got, it was kind of expected. But, yeah, I guess this is where they're going after Nikki Cross is no longer in a tag team with Alexa Bliss.
Split up?
Yeah, they split them up, and that's where we're going with this.
All right, and then, next match we had was... who was
Braun Strowman versus former Cruiserweight Champion Drew Gulak, which, honestly, I said this to you in a message before. I was like, really? Like, this is what we're doing to a former Cruiserweight Champion? And I liked Drew Gulak as Cruiserweight Champion. I was like, damn, this guy's got it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like nobody from Lucha House Party was available for this.
Yeah. Yeah, and then look at the presentation I put, Braun, for your match.
A PowerPoint presentation, which was hilarious. I like that gimmick when he had it back then, but he moved away from being like comic relief, and now they're putting him back in it once he goes to the main roster.
So,
I did not appreciate that. Drew Gulak deserves better.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's get that hashtag trending. Gulak deserves better.
Gulak deserves better. You heard it here first.
Remember the 345 slides.
You heard it here first.
But yeah, Strowman basically tossed him around and then won the match.
Yeah. So okay. So and of course they're trying to push that match against Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury, boxing legend Tyson Fury. Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't there, but they had to push it because that's the matchup that's we're gonna have.
Yeah, because breaking tables and snapping pens isn't gonna cut it. WWE, come on.
All right, and then after that, what did we have?
We had the main event. It was Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus the tag team that I am dubbing the Two Kings. They were also brought up by the commentary team. You got the King of the Ring winner of 2019 and the King of Strong Style.
The King of Strong Style. Two Kings. I like that.
That's the nickname. It works. The Two Kings.
Yeah. All right, and okay, so against Daniel Bryan. So now, okay, so Bryan.
And Daniel Bryan is. I get what they're trying to do now. They were like, yeah, we're keeping Roman Reigns and Bryan as a thing so that some of the cheers will rub off on him. Really get Reigns over in that tag team. Because he has been able to just do it. He was a heel. He's back to being a face, and the crowd's just eating it up again. The yes kicks, everything. It's back. It's almost like it never happened.
Yeah, that at the end of the show, I did notice that. It was yes, 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 yes. And then we had the ending.
Yeah, we're all in. We're all in for the former Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. So, and then the winner of that was Reigns.
Reigns and Daniel Bryan pick up the W, yeah. Which was interesting because considering that the only person in that match not appearing at Crown Jewel was Daniel Bryan, you would have expected that they would have given the heels the win. But they got the beat down in early on in the show, so yeah.
So
it made sense.
Okay, now we're going to play a little bit of, now that we've gone through the whole show, let's play a little thing of speculating. What's going on with this? Okay, so we know that Bryan and Reigns is to help, it looks like helping Reigns, get rid of the booing, and it also helps Bryan, but what are we doing here? It's like, we have another tag team, or who are they going to be facing? Is it going to be always against Corbin and Shinsuke?
Well, right now, Reigns kind of doesn't have anything going for him in terms of what titles to feud with. Because let's face it, they're not going to put him against Brock Lesnar again anytime soon.
No.
Or if they do, they're just risking just repeating the same mistakes they have in the past.
Yep.
If you have Reigns and Bryan as a tag team, they've got an easy target in the Revival as tag team champions. They're not going to do that immediately. Or, more potentially, one of them wins the Intercontinental title, and you've got a match at WrestleMania.
Ooh. All right.
Which I think is a more solid way to go. I mean, obviously they got their friends and stuff going on, or they're forming this tag team camaraderie thing going on. They hugged in the middle of the ring. Let's not forget that. So that's a very easy callback to Team Hell No there. But let's face it, in a couple months you got the Royal Rumble. One of them might eliminate the other.
Yep. You know what? You know. Now you mentioned that, I would like to see like a triple threat with Shinsuke, Daniel, and Reigns, and then that's where the friendship breaks down.
They could also do that. I just think that you don't want to have that kind of rivalry where the Intercontinental champion is playing third wheel, basically, because he's doing some really good stuff with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is entertaining as a manager. He's a loudmouth. It works. You kind of want to see him get punched in the face. He doesn't get punched in the face at any point in this entire show, which I thought was funny considering how many times he got in people's faces.
Yeah. True.
I mean, he grabs Daniel Bryan's legs. He gets on the apron like several times when Reigns was fighting him for the Intercontinental title. I'm just like, do you want to win this title match or not? Punch Sami Zayn in the face.
So what do you give this show? I mean, I don't know. I'm still.
It felt really run of the mill. You had two squash matches with Chad Gable and Curtis Axel, and Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak. And you had a non-finish title match start the show. It was still good, but it did have a non-finish. That is a tease. WWE, you need to tone it down with that. I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5.
2.5, yeah. I would go around. I don't know. I wasn't. There was nothing exciting. Nothing that I was watching.
I didn't like Chad Gable and the nickname stuff. That was dumb.
Yep.
They are completely reversing all the progress they've made with him. The New Day stuff and Kofi just being okay with losing the title, didn't like that. The six-pack challenge was good. I think Reigns and Bryan versus the two Kings was pretty much the main event and the match of the night, honestly.
Yeah, match of the night on a show that was not a mediocre show.
Mediocre show. I mean, I could easily agree with that if I really think about it. I just think the main event saved it.
Yeah.
That he spears him through the barricade. It had all the big spots needed.
Yeah.
It was good. It's
right.
it's the saving grace of the show, pretty much. But this is not helping anyone's argument when they say, "Oh, this is the A show." No, Raw does it better.
See, I was ready to come in and argue that stuff, but then nobody's kids show got burned down. Come on. Yeah, I mean, I was ready to argue that stuff. Then I saw the draft, and then now you put this stuff on. It's like, really? What? So, yeah, I'm about to change my mind about this being the A show.
Michael Cole says that it becomes unpopular, huh?
I was hoping for it. I remember one point when SmackDown had some good matches. It was exciting to watch SmackDown, but then something happened and it wasn't exciting anymore. And
I knew SmackDown wasn't going to be the A show the minute they started their debut season premiere episode on Fox with the Raw Women's Champion.
Really?
Yeah, because if you're going to spend your first SmackDown with the Raw Women's Champion coming out,
yeah,
and the King of the Ring, who, if I'm not mistaken, also ended up on Raw.
Yeah.
Though they might have traded him, I think. If that's how you're going to open the show, then you've got a problem because you're not focusing on stars that are going to...
The stars are on the show, that's what, yeah.
Yeah, that are going to be on the show because we all knew Becky Lynch was going to end up on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Not with the Raw Women's title.
So, I don't know. They still need some more work to do to get me all excited about these shows on Friday, but we'll be here again, right, next week on there. Well, who knows? Maybe because we're working on different format, different things. So we might do a show before SmackDown. Yes,
so,
there you go.
So that we have less disappointment to talk about.
Yeah, so maybe sound happier. I can't wait to see this, and then we see it, and then they go. No.
Right? Then we see it, and we have a whole week to forget about it.
Yeah, here we go.
The initial impact wears off.
It'll be like, well, at least we have Raw in a few days, right?
And then if Raw's like, we have 3 days to recover from that too.
Yeah, it's like NXT, and AEW.
And AEW, yeah.
I don't want to say it louder in front of the.
Yeah, you don't know if Vince is listening.
Yeah, or in front of WWE fans. AEW. Yeah, because then they'll get offended. What? What are you talking about that for?
What did you say?
Yeah, but
what did you say about that show that we don't watch?
Yeah, but for me, really, as a fan, we win. We're winning. We're
they're stepping up the game on. I mean, NXT is getting a spotlight with this, and honestly, I can't wait. I know I shouldn't say this because they ruined main roster call-ups, but I cannot wait for the eventual Undisputed Era debut. I want to see those people run roughshod through the main roster at some point.
Ooh, yeah.
But let them do their thing on NXT because that's good too.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So this is 24/7 Lou, and that is
Rick Hard. That's me.
Yep.
I'll be doing this regularly, Lou.
Yes, here we go, and we'll have some guests on. We'll have other few show fans, members, participants, and we'll be reviewing this stuff. Of course, we have the big show with Captain Bogey, Jay Few / Player One, and myself, 24/7 Lou. Which we do have an episode coming up soon, very soon, with an interview with ERA. So that'll be coming up soon, and then of course don't forget on November 16th we have SPW, which the future will be there calling matches, and you'll see videos come up later. We'll have interviews with everyone going on there. So yeah, a lot of things going on the Few Show. So this is a new thing that we're starting up, and hope you guys enjoy. Leave a comment, curse us out, curse me out, or
give us a like. Let me know why I'm wrong about Raw being the A show, even though it is.
You know what? I'm gonna go say it.
well, you're wrong.
Well, then let someone else prove it. Oh.
yeah. Let someone else. Let's see what someone else. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Let me know in the comments, guys.
There you go. So thanks for listening to this. You've reached the end of this little podcast, our first episode here, mini episode of what's going on in
TFS podcast.
TFS podcast. You know what? Actually, I want to mention one thing. I had mentioned something to Captain Bogey once about calling something like outside the ring, but that was for some other segment ideas that I have. But no, this one would be like TFS. TFS pod? How about that?
TFS pod. I like it.